Here goes. Third luck's the charm. Hi, dear students. I'm not gonna. This is my last try. We are really running out of time, and this is all my fault. So we really kind of have to pace up a little, if we are going to finish all our units until the end of the semester. This is going to be quite a short video where we are going to talk about just about the weaving process and the parts of the machine or a loom that I believe some of you may have had problems with as you went through the presentation. Okay, so the terms warp and weft, osnova and potka, I believe are already very familiar to you, and there's nothing that needs to be explained here. However, maybe the problem of memorizing which is which in English, since the words are, let's say, rather similar, um, yeah, I have come up with a technique that I've used myself and with other students as to help them to memorize which is which. Okay, so the warp is the vertical system of yarns, and the weft is the horizontal one. So since the warp stands in the same position, and the weft is one that is being inserted and it goes right to left, since it rhymes it with weft rhymes with left, you can use this to memorize the difference between these two terms in English. Okay, so warp, as the name in Croatian suggests, is kind of the basis of a woven construction, and it's going to be very dense in the final product. And since it's going to be subjected to a lot of tension and abrasion during the process, that's why it needs to undergo a more extensive preparation than the weft. Okay, so I'm going to use this to help you. So the warp is first positioned on this green part here, which is called the warp beam. And I don't know how well you can see this, but I have also painted the warp threads in green, so maybe to help you see how it actually goes. So the initial positioning of the warp is called beaming. Then we subject the warp to two, let's say, more chemical processes, which are sizing, which we translate as škrobljenje, and waxing, which we translate as voštenje. And the function of these two processes is to reduce the hairiness of the yarn, to increase its strength, and also to function as a kind of a lubricant when the weft is going to be inserted. Most of these substances are later removed in the finishing processes, so the final product will be starch-free and wax-free. Okay, and then we do the process of threading, which is actually the guiding of the warp threads through the heddles in the harnesses or shafts. Okay, so here I have made a drawing as to what a harness or a jill looks like. So it has a frame, and then it has a series of these wires that are looped. They have a small opening in the middle, and these wires are called heddles, or as it says here, kotlats. So any weaving machine or a loom needs to have at least two harnesses. And as you're probably going to see sometime in the future, there are looms with more harnesses, up to 8. And these are actually mostly used when we need to or want to weave some complex more elaborate weaves than just let's say the three basic ones and some of their derivatives. Okay, so the harnesses or jills are here in pink, and one of them is going to be one of them is going to rise and the other one is going to lower, and they're so two let's say every other warp thread is guided through one particular harness, and then every the ones that remain will be guided through another. So one harness is going to rise, the other one is going to lower, and they are going to create a space which we are going to call shed or ziev, and that's where we're going to insert the weft. Okay, so here the weft is in blue, and this one in particular is in a shuttle. So we're going to translate this as chunak, and this obviously is a shuttle loom, or in Croatian chunkovni tkalački stan. Whereas when we are dealing with other weft insertion mechanisms, we are going to refer to these machines, they are usually machines, as shuttleless looms. Okay, so the weft is here wound onto a bobbin that is inside the shuttle, and the shuttle is this boat-shaped little mechanism that can be used manually to guide the weft thread through the shed. Okay, so once the weft has been inserted into the shed, this yellow thing here called a reed or tkalačko brdo pushes this weft into the woven construction, and it actually makes a pick or utkaj. And here we have a final product, which is a woven fabric, right? And it is being wound or taken up onto a take-up roller, cloth beam, or fabric beam. Choose whichever you want. Actually, don't choose whichever you want. When you come into the exam, I'm going to ask for all the alternative names. Okay, if this wasn't clear enough, maybe this can help. This is a toy from IKEA that I ordered from my sister for my last birthday last year. It is actually a toy. It's being sold under, kids products or whatever. Okay, so this one is actually designed to only make something like a small rug or a mat that you can use on the floor or whatever. So here, this is actually a weaving frame. So I think you can see these threads. They are the warp threads that I initially positioned in a very, very ill manner. I've made a series of mistakes, and that means that the final product is not going to be of high quality. I'm going to undo this and sometime soon and try and make a better job when I try to do this again. I wanted to have this so we can use it in class to demonstrate, and what you see here in this fuchsia color is the work of your now sophomore colleagues. And here I'm going to use this green weft to try and insert it through the shed. So this thing does not have harnesses because simply, there is enough space as it is, like this. Okay, and I'm going to try and do it in a plain weave. I'm using here a projectile. So this is like a projectile mechanism. So in plain weave, we are actually, now I'm doing twill because it's easier. I'm going to skip every 2 warp threads to insert the weft. Okay, so this is what how it's done manually. So there is a lot of weft here. And then we have this little comb that functions as a reed to push the weft, or actually that is to make a pick and push it into the already woven construction. Okay. I'm not sure whether this has helped at all. The image of the loom that you have in your presentation is even more detailed, and it also involves the names of certain parts that are going to function as mechanisms for rising and lowering of the harnesses, and also the movement of the reed or weft or any other weft insertion mechanism. I'm going to also link a video that I found excellent in explaining how these different weft insertion mechanisms work, and I'm going to also ask certain questions as a comprehension check for you. If we're talking about a shuttleless loom, we have the basic types of weft insertion are either projectiles, as you've seen on this toy, then grippers or rapiers, which are translated as hvatala in Croatian, and also air or water jets, zračne ili vodene mlaznice. Okay, I'm going to finish here with this one, and in the next video we are going to discuss different types of weaves and properties of woven fabrics. Okay, that's it from me for this one. Okay, I'll see you soon. Bye.